Friend with benefits means this phrase was brought to the public's attention in the 1990s by Alanis Morissette's song, Head Over Feet, which also served as the inspiration for the title of a film that was released in 2011 and starred Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. The phrase, friend with benefits, refers to a friend with whom one has sex without having a romantic connection or making a commitment. In modern parlance, one might alternatively refer to this as a hookup. However, the concept of having a friend, or friends, with benefits is not extinct. FWB is even an acronym that can be used in text messages to refer to the concept. Flexuous means the final stretch of the trail consists of a winding path that climbs the mountain to an overlook that provides a breathtaking panorama of the valley below. This pine, the longleaf pine, is not confused, or at least shouldn't be, with any other tree. The combination of long, flexuous needles, in threes, white and silvery buds, and large cones make it distinctive in the southeast, although there are some instances in which our native/pine looks similar. Flea flicker means the flea flicker is an unconventional offensive play that takes place over the course of 3 stages. The play starts with the quarterback passing the ball to one of the running backs. The second step of the play is for the running back to make a lateral pass to the quarterback. The game is over, and the quarterback throws the ball to one of the receivers. A flea flicker is a high-risk trick play that is run in the hopes of befuddling the opposing defense. Finlandization means the process by which a smaller country maintains a neutral or positive approach toward a larger country, due to the influence of the larger country, is referred to as Finlandization. The word refers to Finland's neutral stance toward the Soviet Union throughout the duration of the Cold War. It was first proposed by political scientist Richard Lowenthal in the 1960s. It was agreed upon in a pact signed in 1948 that Finland would maintain its neutrality throughout the Cold War on the condition that the Soviet Union not invade the country. The term can be taken in a pejorative sense since it can imply that one nation is subject to the control of another nation that is more powerful and that the nation in question has chosen neutrality as a response to unfair pressure. Fidelity, meaning the quality or state of being faithful to someone or something, such as a spouse or one's country, is referred to as one's fidelity to that person or thing. Accuracy in particulars is another meaning of the word fidelity. When discussing electronic devices, the term fidelity refers to the degree to which those instruments faithfully duplicate anything, such as an image or a sound. Explore means this year, make the most of the opportunity to travel. This could be performed by going to a new location, but it could also be completed by gaining new knowledge, being more involved in your community, or meeting new friends. Accomplish means is this the year that you're finally going to put in the effort to master that new hobby or put your name in the hat for that major promotion. In such case, achieve might be the right term for what you want to do. Keep in mind that achieving goals does not necessitate always coming out on top. To bring to its objective or conclusion, carry out, perform, finish, is the meaning of this word. Abeyance, meaning a state of transitory inaction, is what the term abeyance refers to. It is usual practice to place the preposition in front of the word itself. Family moon means a honeymoon getaway that includes the newlywed couple's children is known as a family moon. This word can be used to refer to couples who had children from former relationships as well as couples who had children from previous relationships with their current partner before getting married. As you might assume, the term family moon is used in marketing and social media to refer to vacation destinations that are welcoming to children and offer a variety of activities that children may participate in. The concept of a honeymoon inspired the creation of the term family moon, which refers to a vacation taken by a married couple with their children. The offspring of the marriage are referred to as their family, hence the term family moon. The term baby moon is an example of a related word that makes use of the moon suffix and is derived from the word honeymoon. A trip taken by a couple to commemorate and get some rest before the impending birth of a child is called a baby moon. Exemplary means the work is a prime example of Romanticism written in the 18th century. The awards recognize the outstanding work of public school teachers throughout the city who motivate students, serve as an example of excellent teaching, and strengthen school communities. Edgification means, do you know of anything that pairs particularly well with a holiday? Learning. An educational vacation, sometimes known as an education, is a trip or vacation that includes educational components. The phrase has a wide range of applications and can be used to refer to a diverse range of holiday locations and activities, such as a visit to a well-known museum, a tour of a cultural heritage site, or an educational safari that focuses on animals. The terms education and vacation have been mashed together to form the word edgification. In contrast to vacation and friendcation, the whole meaning of the word vacation is used. This is due to the fact that if only the first part of the word were used, the meaning would be education. Exculpate means to clear from alleged fault or guilt. Dubaization means the term dubaization refers to the process by which a city or area experiences a quick era of development with futuristic design. The term dubaization was coined after the city of Dubai, which is located in the United Arab Emirates and is well known for the architectural growth it has experienced, beginning in the 1990s. Dust means a contronym is formed when the word adust is employed as a verb. Dust, to wipe the dust from every Saturday, he would dust the knickknacks on the bookshelves in order to keep them clean. Dust, to wipe the dust from dust, to wipe the dust from the. Domino means it is unclear where the name of this uncomplicated plaything came from, although it does have an unusual sound. The word domino, which is used to refer to the black and white blocks, may have originated from an earlier use of the word domino, which referred to a hooded, black cloak that was worn by priests or at masquerade celebrations. Drip means drip was a derogatory term used by past generations to refer to a person who is unattractive, boring, or colorless. If someone brings up your drip in conversation, this time it will be a positive thing. The term drip refers to a person's appearance or style, in particular when it is perceived to be exceptionally trendy or sexy, kind of like a newer version of swag. The history of this particular usage has been the topic of some discussion. Some people believe that the term drip originated from slang that was used on the television show Zoe 101, while others believe that it originated in the early 2000s hip-hop scene in Atlanta. In either case, from this point forward, you will know that you should consider it a compliment if someone comments on your drip. Dice means dice is the plural form of the word die, which often comes as a surprise to a lot of people. It is generally accepted that the word die derives from the Latin word datum, which can be translated as something which is decided. If you roll dice and land on boardwalk, then fate will have its way with you and require that you suffer another catastrophic loss of wealth. This will be a decree from fate. Doff means to doff. Anything implies to take off or remove something, such a hat or an article of clothing. Determined means to give direction or tendency to propel, is what the word determined means. Your aim to approach everything you do with passion, drive, and a sense of purpose might be reflected in the choice of this phrase to serve as your theme for the year. Dear John means if you find that you are the recipient of a Dear John letter, then unfortunately I have some bad news for you. A breakup letter is a letter from a woman informing her boyfriend, husband, or fiancé that she is ending their relationship, which is the full definition of the phrase breakup letter. It is generally accepted that it originated during World War II, when people were separated for extended periods of time and had to communicate with one another through the use of letters. Throughout history, biblical names such as John and Jack were some of the most frequent male names. As a result, these names evolved into generic stand-ins that may be used to refer to any man. Even though the phrase Dear John, or its feminine equivalent, Dear Jane, is not as commonly used as it once was, Taylor Swift chose to utilize it as the title of one of her more popular songs. Derrick meaning a derrick is a tall framework that is placed over an oil well to support the various pieces of drilling equipment. Decry meaning decry is a formal word that means to express strong disapproval of. Curiosity means where can you go to educate yourself and broaden your horizons this year. Inquisitiveness is another word for curiosity, which can be defined as a desire to study or know about anything. Investigate whether there is anything additional you can discover about yourself, the people and place you care about, and the environment in which you live. Curling means precision is absolutely necessary for curling. The game is played by two teams of 4 players each, who take turns sliding curling stones in the direction of a circular target known as the tee, which is located on the other side of the court. During its journey across more than 145 feet to the opposite side of the rink, the stone is assisted in its movement by members of the team who sweep the ice with a broom or brush to make the stone go more quickly. When the stones slide across the ice, they produce a loud noise, and the surface of the ice, which frequently has tiny ice bumps on it for better control, is often bumpy. Because to this aspect of the gameplay, the game is also referred to as the roaring game. The earliest known use of the word curling occurred between the years 1610 and 1620. The stones used in the modern version of the game are not your typical stones, but rather a piece of polished granite, weighing 42 pounds that was sourced from Ailsa Craig in Scotland and has a handle connected to the top of it. Cross-country skiing means whereas the emphasis in alpine skiing is on speed, the primary focus in cross-country skiing is on endurance. The activity consists of skiing over varied but mostly flat terrain on narrow skis that are attached to bindings that raise the heel of the ski boot when the skier lifts their heel. It is generally agreed that cross-country skiing is the earliest form of the sport, and that it was first developed more for transportation purposes than for athletic competition. Crayola means Alice Binney, the wife of Edwin Binney, the founder of this crayon manufacturing company, came up with the idea for the company's name. Crayola was her brainchild. Crayola claims that the word crayon comes from the French word craie, which translates to a chalk, and the word oleaginous, which is a fancy word that denotes something contains oil. Cornerback means the cornerback is a position on defense that is typically played in the middle of the defense, between the linebackers and the safeties. In most cases, cornerbacks will either engage in man coverage or focus their attention on a particular region, zone, of the playing field. Cornerbacks are frequently required to make split-second choices based on the unfolding of the play in front of them. Cousin means to deceive, win over, or influence with pleasing words or actions or by trickery. Courage means choosing courage as your word for the year doesn't mean you have to go in completely fearless. Courage is not the absence of fear, rather, it is the opposition to fear and mastery over dread. The novelist Mark Twain famously remarked, "To make a commitment to bravery is to make a commitment to moving forward, especially when doing so presents novel and unsettling challenges." Convoluted meaning the phrase, extremely intricate and difficult to understand, comes from the word convoluted. It is a word that can be used interchangeably with involved and intricate. Coffin corner kick means when a punt is called a coffin corner kick, it means that the punter is attempting to kick the ball out of bounds in the corner of the field that is adjacent to the end zone. The objective of this kick is to make it as difficult as possible for the opposition team to score a touchdown, by forcing them to travel almost the whole length of the field. Commitment means each person's interpretation of the concept of commitment as an annual theme may be unique. It could involve maintaining pledges made to other people, being more responsible with regard to satisfying obligations, or even making a commitment to loving and caring for oneself more. Christmas all season long means if you've ever been concerned about the creeping of Christmas, you might be surprised to learn that there is at least one place in the world that doesn't mind celebrating Christmas very early on and, in fact, takes great joy in doing so. If you've ever been concerned about Christmas creep, you might be surprised to learn that it's possible that no other country has a Christmas season that lasts as long as it does in the Philippines, but it's quite unlikely. The bulk of the people who call these group of islands home are devout Catholics, and the celebration takes the concept of seasonal creep to a level that is well above what we were expecting. From September through December, the months that end in those three letters are collectively referred to as the BR months in the Philippines, since Christmas celebrations continued during this time period. It is not unheard of to find Halloween decorations displayed in the store right next to the Christmas trees. The festivities continue right up until Epiphany, which ends on January 6 this year. The majority of Philippine traditions date back to the time when the country was under Spanish colonial rule, which lasted from 1521 until 1898. This is true in the traditions of the Catholic faith, as well as in the terminology used during this time of year. Spanish is the origin of a significant portion of the world's most frequently used vocabulary. Others are components of the national language of the Philippines, Tagalog, which is spoken by the majority of the population. These are the terms you need to know to comprehend Christmastime in the Philippines, from the cherished dinners to the distinctive gifts that people exchange with one another. Cleave is an excellent illustration of a contronym in its classic form. The term of cleave is derived from the Old English words clofin and ecleophian, and this is how it came to have two meanings that are diametrically opposed to one another. Clarity means it's possible that you haven't given much thought to what you hope to achieve in the coming year. That's okay. You can decide to make this the year that you focus on gaining insight into what you truly value, what you truly require, and what steps you want to take next. Chuggy means which are you, a cool person or a chug? It is claimed that the year 2013 was the year in which the word uncool first appeared. This word is used to describe items that are either out of style or trying too hard to be in style. According to a reporter for the New York Times named Taylor Lorenz, a woman named Gabby Rasson from California first used the term chuggy to characterize those who attempt to be fashionable but fail. In the year 2021, a video that went viral on TikTok helped bring the phrase to a wider audience. On TikTok, the hashtag chuggy got more than 10 million views by the month of May 2021. Chugginess and chugginess are two noun forms of the word, and a person who is considered to be chuggy is frequently referred to as a chug. Chugginess is another form of the noun. Caution is advised because slang evolves quickly, and some people may consider the term chuggy to already be slang. Chef's kiss means a chef's kiss is both a gesture and an expression that is used to indicate that something is wonderful or flawless. To do the gesture, first the fingers and thumb of one hand are pinched together, often in the shape of an OK sign, then the fingers and thumb are kissed, and finally the fingers and thumb are theatrically flung away from the lips. It is possible for it to have a serious or ironic tone. Challenge means the word challenge could serve as your guiding principle for the upcoming year if you're looking to shake up your routines, discover exciting new experiences, or make significant progress toward important objectives. A challenge does not always need to be of a very tough nature. The only requirement is that it must be anything that by its nature or character acts as a call to fight, contest, or extraordinary endeavor. Chess means this one is a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Chess derives its name from the Old French word échec, which is the plural form of the word échec, which means a check. The word check was derived from the Old Spanish word zak and the Arabic word shah, both of which were derived from the Persian word shah, which means king. This connection to the game of chess occurred quite early on in its history. The word was employed in the game back then, just as it is used now, to give fair warning to the adversary that the opponent's king was in imminent danger. While the meaning of the word chess has remained synonymous with the game over time, the meaning of the word check has broadened considerably in English. Cheetle means Cheetle is the brand name of the powdery residue that gets on your fingertips while you are eating the savory cheese snack known as Cheetos. Cheetle is often referred to as Cheetle dust. Captious meaning a typical definition of a capricious is tendency to find fault and make concerns. It can also imply plan to confuse, ensnare, or engage in debate, but this usage is far less common. Cancel culture means the term cancel culture refers to the widespread trend of people withdrawing their support for public individuals and organizations after those figures or businesses have engaged in behavior or made statements that are deemed to be disrespectful or disagreeable. The practice of cancel culture is typically referred to as being carried out in the form of group shaming on social media platforms. Bussin means you might use the term bussin to refer to anything that is outstanding in every way. This phrase comes from African American Vernacular English, AAV, and it is likely derived from several different meanings of bust, including to erupt, and to do well, and to delight. Many people believe that members of Generation Z have changed the meaning of the term by appropriating it for their own use. The term bussin most commonly refers to delectable cuisine in AAV, despite the fact that newer generations use it to describe everything from a fantastic clothing to nice music. Bunny means some terms associated with dating fell out of popularity due to the way in which they were employed in a sexist manner. The term bunny is an example of one of them. A lovely, charming, or alluring young woman, often one purportedly engaged in a sport or similar activity, is what people mean when they use the archaic slang term bunny. For instance, a beautiful woman at the beach may have been referred to as a beach bunny at one point in time. This term enjoyed a brief period of popularity in the 1970s but has since fallen out of favor. Today, the use of it is frequently seen as being offensive. Booty call means the use of the term booty call in the context of dating may also be traced back to the early 1990s. It could be a phone call, a text message, an email, or anything else with the intention of setting up a meeting to engage in consensual sexual activity. The phrase booty call is derived from the slang word booty, which has an intriguing origin story. In the early 1900s, booty was a crude slang phrase that referred to female genitalia. By the 1920s, however, booty had evolved into a more tame slang term that referred to buttocks. By the time booty call was created, the word booty had come to mean both the act of sex and a female body perceived to be a sex object. This is a frequent pattern for historical slang phrases that objectify women. Boo means it's possible that boo was the inspiration for bae, more on this term soon. This term from the 1990s refers to an endearing moniker for a spouse or other significant person. It is generally agreed that the term first appeared in hip-hop culture, and from there it made its way into popular culture. There is a possibility that boo is derived from the pet name baby or the French word beau. Bona fides, meaning the evidence of a person's qualifications or achievements, is what is referred to as their bona fides. Bound means cleave is one example of a contronym that can have two different meanings due to the fact that it actually has two separate etymologies. Another example is the word bound. The first interpretation derives from the bindan of the Old English language. The second interpretation derives from the Old Norse word bin, which can be translated as to get ready. Defined as being linked, attached, or held in place with a band or bond. The Mountie made a dash towards the woman who was tied to the railroad lines in order to rescue her. Bobsleigh means an Olympic competition known as the bobsleigh is called after the vehicle that serves as the sport's signature piece of hardware, the bobsleigh, or, in the US and Canada, the bobsled. The word bobsleigh comes from the verb bob, which means to move anything up or down with a bob or little jolt. This motion is what gives the bobsleigh its name. And that is a fitting description, as bobsledding requires two or more persons on a sledge, the British term for a sled, which is made up of two short connected sleds with a steering system and brake. Bobsledding is a winter sport that originated in the United Kingdom. A banked, icy run is navigated at high speeds, about 90 miles per hour, and the team that finishes with the best time wins. The Swiss developed the sport in the late 1800s when they outfitted skeleton sleds, which were effectively simply flat boards on long metal blades, with a mechanism to steer and a chassis for protection. Skeleton sleds were the basis for the sport. The inaugural Winter Olympics were held in Chamonix in 1924, and one of the sports that was featured was bobsleigh. Since then, it has participated in all of the Winter Olympics with the exception of one. These days, the Olympics feature a 1. Two-person race for men. 2. Two-person race for women. 3. Four-person men's race. 4. Monobob for women with just one rider. Blitz means a blitz is a high-risk move in which the defensive team attempts to bring down the ball carrier by sending more men into the field than is typical. A player who is tasked with doing this is known as a blitzer, and the action of blitzing is referred to as blitzing. Bleisure means let's get down to work, and after we're done, shall we take a vacation? The combination of work and pleasure travel is frequently referred to as bleisure travel, and the word bleisure is frequently used in that phrase. The phrase business tourism is frequently used to refer to work-related travel that also includes leisure activities. This can mean scheduling in time for a hiking excursion, squeezing in some sightseeing, or taking the kids along so they can have fun in between video conference calls. Because of the widespread COVID-19 epidemic, a rising number of people are being forced to perform their jobs from a remote location, which has contributed to the rise in popularity of bleisure travel. The combination of the terms business and leisure results in the oxymoronic word bleisure. The term bleisure refers to vacations that in some manner mix getting work done with finding time to rest or engage in other enjoyable activities. These travel words, along with many others, are frequently driven by marketing for the travel industry. For instance, you may come across the travel term open-jaw flight, which refers to a flight that departs from a different city from the one that a person arrived in addition to the well-known term red-eye flight, which refers to a flight that is taken during the hours in which people are typically asleep. You shouldn't be surprised if we continue to see plenty of new travel lingo because it is in the best interest of travel agencies to come up with snappy, marketable ways to sell vacation packages. Because of this, it is in the best interest of travel agencies to come up with new ways to sell vacation packages. Bisita means you are familiar with the protocol for managing bisitas, regardless of whether you are in charge of the Christmas party or are merely attending one. The word originates from the Spanish verb visitar, which means to visit. Thus, the meaning of the word is guest. It is not the only word that may be used to refer to visitors by those living in the Philippines. Guest in Tagalog is referred to as a panahan, whereas visit is referred to as a dala. Big mood means people post large moods online as a means of expressing their reactions to or descriptions of things that they feel to be related or resonant in some manner. A big mood can express an emotion at a particular instant as well as comment on a more general sentiment regarding life in general, at the same time. Yeah, existentialist nonsense. In reaction and response to content that is variably viewed as eccentric, authentic, dramatic, or ludicrous, big mood is frequently expressed with a tone that is comedic, judgmental, upbeat, or sardonic. Bijou means to commemorate the launch of her most recent collection. In New York City, jeweler Jessie Marlowe Lazowski threw a small dinner for a select group of guests. The fine jewelry baubles were displayed in a vitrine designed by Putnam and filled with layers of sand in colors reminiscent of a desert sunset. Guests took turns trying on the fine jewelry baubles, which were on full show. Bet means are you prepared to learn the next word in this slang phrase? Bet. As you may have surmised from the sentence before this one, bet is a term of affirmation, agreement, or acceptance similar to cool or I'm down. In addition to that, you can use it to convey uncertainty or skepticism. It's possible that black slang was the source of this usage. Given that betting can be linked back to the 1990s, this provides additional evidence that members of Generation Z appear to enjoy recycling fashion trends from that decade. Biathlon means the biathlon is created by combining the disciplines of cross-country running with target shooting. This is a Greek word that refers to an athletic competition that consists of two events that are held consecutively. Skiing while carrying a rifle was a common way of life in Scandinavia for many years. The first modern biathlon was hosted by the Norwegian military in 1912, marking the beginning of the sport. The modern Olympic biathlon was introduced for the first time at the 1960 Games held in Olympic Valley, California. The women's sport was not introduced until the 1992 Games. There are now 11 different events. 1. Combined relays. 2. Women's 15 km individual women's 7.5 km sprint. 3. Women's 10 km pursuit. 4. Women's 4 by 6 kilometers relay. 5. Women's 12.5 kilometers mass start. 6. Men's 20 kilometers individual, men's 10 kilometers sprint, men's 12.5 kilometers pursuit. 7. Men's 4 by 7.5 kilometers relay, men's 15 kilometers mass start. The races are run according to a time limit, and if a competitor misses a shooting target, additional time is added to their overall time. The exception to this rule is the pursuit events. In those, the individuals who finished first in their respective individual competitions will have a head start on the overall race, while the individuals who finished second through fifth will begin the competition based on the times they achieved in their most recent race. Berate means, don't berate yourself over canceling plans, the lifestyle expert said. It is sometimes more important that you allow for time to take care of yourself. During Russell's tirade Wednesday, he didn't shout at any particular player, but his team as a whole. I would never single someone out and berate them, Russell said. Behest meaning a behest is an authoritative order or an urgent prompting. Belief means belief implies a confidence, faith, trust. Choosing to make 2022 the year that you grow your capacity to believe in yourself, to investigate and test the validity of your own deeply held views, or to motivate others to believe in a particular movement or cause is one way to make 2022 the year that you focus on believing. Barbie means the fact that Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts is something that only true aficionados of the doll would be able to tell you. The invention of the doll was credited to a woman named Ruth Handler, who was also a successful businesswoman. The fact that Barbie's lover Ken is named after Ruth's son Kenneth is a bonus piece of trivia that you might find a little unsettling. Becky means the character Becky represents the archetype of a white woman, namely one who is ignorant of or exploits the benefits of her social status. It's also common to make fun of a young white woman by calling her basic and referring to her as a Becky. Beau means this term of endearment refers to a male lover or darling, and it is derived from the word beau. It is possible that you may think of it as a more elegant and more traditional manner of saying boyfriend. Although the term beau was not used as a dating phrase until the 1720s, the first known use of the word beau in the English language was around the late 1200s. This word comes from the French word beau, which literally translates to the lovely. Balkanization means when a major region or country breaks up into numerous smaller groups that share a similar culture and history. This phenomenon is frequently referred to as a balkanization. It can also refer to conflict that occurs within a single state between the numerous ethnic groups who live there. The term balkanization refers to the process by which large regions, such as the Balkans or the Balkan Peninsula, are broken up into many smaller countries. This process occurred for the first time after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, and then again after the fall of the Soviet Union and the breakup of Yugoslavia. Bae means, and this brings us to a much more recent term, when you think of millennial dating slang, the word bae is almost impossible to keep from coming to mind. This word first appeared in the early 2000s and, with the help of the internet, was able to enjoy widespread popularity throughout the 2010s. Affectionate shorthand for referring to one's lover or spouse, bae is often used in modern culture. It is speculated that it is a condensed form of other common pet names, such as babe or baby, and it most likely originated in Black English. It has been suggested that bae is an acronym for before anybody else, but despite how entertaining this idea may seem, it is actually merely a misunderstanding. Balance means if your life were a pie, what proportion of it would be devoted to things like work, family, friends, and taking care of yourself? This year can be the best time to pursue equilibrium, especially if one part of the pie is hogging too much of your attention and resources at the expense of the others. Vacation means, simply put, a vacation is any kind of vacation that you take with your bae, also known as your significant other. In travel marketing and advertising, the term vacation is frequently used to refer to romantic getaways or places that are considered as lands of love. The term vacation is a fusion word that is formed by combining the word bae with the cation portion of the word vacation. An additional marketing perk is provided by the fact that a vacation rhymes with a vacation. The word vacation is derived from a staycation, which refers to a vacation in which the traveler stays at their primary residence and has become a standard term in the tourism industry. Baby Yoda means the character in the Star Wars TV series The Mandalorian, known simply as the Child, is more commonly referred to by the nickname Baby Yoda. Yoda, a much-loved figure from the Star Wars franchise, is a fellow member of the same species as he is. The cute and endearing appearance of Baby Yoda contributed to the character becoming a popular meme on the internet. Backup means the use of the term fine has the potential to give rise to some genuine misunderstandings regarding the degree to which something is good or not superb. Excellent being of the highest possible standard. In order to be ready for the Queen's arrival, the domestic staff polished the finest silver and meticulously cleaned the most expensive linens. Askew meaning the phrase askew can be translated as out of line or are not straight. Audible means the term audible refers to the situation in which a team's offense or defense makes a play decision at the line of scrimmage rather than in the huddle. Audibles are utilized to make a last-second adjustment to a play call that has already been decided. Arabization means the promotion of the Arabic language and Arabic culture in governmental institutions, educational institutions, and the media is referred to as the Arabization process. Specifically, the term Arabization is frequently used to refer to the policies that are enforced by governments in countries that were historically under the rule of non-Arab conquerors and are now undergoing the process of Arabization. Antithetical meaning the term antithetical refers to something that is exactly opposite of or opposed to. An IOP means an IOP is a phrase that became popular after being used in a video performed by drag queen Jasmine Masters. Since then, it has been pigeonholed as a term used exclusively by VSCO girls. The expressions IOP and IOP can be used in a lighthearted manner to convey astonishment, surprise, or embarrassment. Americanization means there are two distinct concepts that can both be referred to by the term Americanization. In the early 1900s, many people believed that the best way to instill cultural values that were regarded as being quintessentially American was to Americanize the large number of new immigrants who were entering the United States at the time. This was a term that originated in the United Kingdom. During and after its use, this strategy has been criticized on the grounds that it compels immigrants to abandon their native traditions. In more modern times, the term Americanization is frequently used to refer to the dissemination of American culture throughout the rest of the world, particularly through the influence of American media and popular culture. This term may be used to allude to the widespread accessibility of American popular culture, which has been recognized for its impact on the cultures of a great number of other countries. Aguinaldo means aguinaldos stand out among the various presents that are exchanged during the holiday season because of their uniqueness. Bonus is what the term means when translated from Spanish. Aguinaldos are often bestowed upon the recipient by their godparents, aunts and uncles, grandparents, or other extended family members. The latter are typically the ones who contribute the most. One custom requires young people to form a line and pay respect to their parents and other adults in their lives by participating in a ceremony known as pagmamano. This requires them to take their parent or other adult's hand and place it on their own forehead. One further method for acquiring aguinaldos is to perform Christmas caroling in exchange for the coins. Alpine means alpine skiing at the Olympics, often known as downhill skiing, is a series of competitions that includes some of the quickest events that can be completed on two skis. The objective is uncomplicated: race to the bottom of the mountain course as fast as you can. The Alps, which are the greatest and highest mountain range in Europe, are where this shape derives its name. On these lengthy and twisting downhill courses, racers can approach nearly 100 miles per hour in their speeds. Alpine skiing made its debut at the Olympic Games in 1936 in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany, with a competition that included downhill and slalom. This event was open to both male and female competitors, more on that later. There are now 11 alpine competitions at the Olympics, all of which require competitors to earn the fastest time possible. Africanization means the concept of Africanization can be applied in many different contexts. It can mean to bring under African, especially Black African, influence or to adapt to African demands, or it can mean to make African, especially to hand control of policy, governance, etc., to Africans, which is a more specific meaning. Both meanings are used interchangeably. It is a phrase that is frequently employed while talking about post-colonial Africa and post-apartheid South Africa. In the context of this discussion, the term Africanization refers to the process of giving Black Africans back their political, economic, and civil power. Afghanization means when discussing the presence of United States soldiers in Afghanistan, particularly in the years leading up to and following the withdrawal of U.S. forces in 2021. The context in which the term Afghanization is most commonly found and utilized is that of Afghanization. In particular, it is a reference to the plan adopted by the United States government to work toward handing over political and military power in Afghanistan to the Afghan troops. The phrase can also be used independently to refer to the process of linguistic and ethnic assimilation that occurs within the country. Ad-lib means to improvise or to deliver spontaneously, is what is meant by the term ad-lib. Adroit means having or showing skill, cleverness, or resourcefulness in handling situations.